Hello, everybody. This is Ray Renati, and you have reached Green Room on Air. Oh my gosh, I've been trying to edit this episode. I'm an amateur. I wanted to replace the Zoom audio recording of me with my local recording, and I did. But then I had some other problems, and I was going to have to do it again. It had already took me like 2 hours, so I ain't going to do it. It's not that bad, but I got to learn how to make my microphone sound better on Zoom, and I haven't figured that out yet. But it's still pretty good, and you're lucky because I spoke with a very talented actress a couple of days ago. Her name is Melissa Ortiz, and she is also a friend of mine, a very good friend. Let me tell you a little bit about her before she shows up on your screen or on your podcast platform, as it were. Melissa has just made her San Francisco Playhouse debut in a wonderful play called Shoot Me. What's it called? Shoot Me When. ... I talked about this last week, and now I have more Melissa on the show with me, and I am so excited, and you will be too once you hear her talk, because she's fantastic. A little bit about her. She is the producing artistic director for Shots San Francisco and a company member of Playground. Her Bay Area acting credits include Reagan in King Lear in the San Francisco Shakespeare Festival, Anna in Anna Considers Mars, and Emily in Value Over Replacement at Playground, Lizzie in The Wickham's Christmas at Pemberley at Marin Theater Company, Celine in The Moonrisers, Masha in The Seagull at Utopia Theater Company, Tybalt in Romeo. I wish I could talk, but I forgot how. I'm getting so very, very young. Oh, yeah. Thank you very much. Romeo and Juliet in the Free Theater. Oh, my gosh. There's a lot of stuff here. And the title role in Miss Julie. Maybe if I sing everything. I'm tired. Oh, my God. I need to get more sleep. But I have insomnia sometimes. Miss Julie in Amios West, which is also part of the Shots company. Amios West is the parent company of Shots San Francisco. That's all I'm going to say because it's too difficult to explain beyond that. She earned her MFA in acting from the National Theater Conservatory in Denver, Colorado. That's right. And Melissa is a very, very talented actor. I watched this production online. It was an online production, being the time of COVID. And San Francisco Playhouse, SF Playhouse, did a very good job in putting this together. Very professionally done. 3 cameras, excellent video quality, excellent sound quality. Unfortunately, if you didn't see it, you cannot see it. I think that must have been an equity rule. The union. I think they only allowed it to be up for a certain amount of time, a short period of time. I'm guessing. I didn't ask Melissa about that, but I'm pretty sure that's what it was. Maybe one day it will reappear. Maybe one day it will. I got to get this done because today at 6 o'clock, I am starting a 5-day silence retreat. If you know me at all, silence is not what I'm about. No, sirree. Oh, my God. I don't know how I'm going to do this. My wife insisted. It's with a group called Art of Living. They do all kinds of meditation and retreats and stuff. They're based in India. They have a guru. His name is Sri Ravi Shankar. He's a great guy. He is, actually. So I got that going for me. I got my silent meditation. I got my guru. I got my guru. I got my guru. Do you have your guru? Oh, yeah. Thank you very much. Anyway, let me move on here because it's time for Melissa, and it's time for me to get ready for my silence retreat. So, folks, if you've never been here before, this is called Green Room on Air, and this is my little space on the internet where I talk to people all over the world about entertainment, actors, directors, musicians, poets. I've spoken with all kinds of clowns, jugglers, everybody. I don't leave anybody out. No siree, Bob. No siree, Bob. If you'd like to be a guest on this show and you're in the entertainment industry, slip me an email at greenroomonair@gmail.com and maybe we can work something out. And if you like this podcast, please tell your friends. Give me a rating on Apple Podcasts, preferably, or any of your favorite podcasting platforms. I'm doing this on video and audio today. I've done that a few times, and I'm trying to get my workflow done quickly so that it doesn't take me 1 or 2 full days to make this happen. Podcasting, folks. Once you start, you don't want to stop. But I'll tell you, it's a commitment. So if you're going to get into podcasting, think twice. That's all I'll say. So much fun. I love you all so much. And without any further ado, I bring you Melissa Ortiz. Thanks so much for being on the show. I've known you for how many years now? 100?
At least. We've been here since 2012, and we met you.
Right around.
Met you pretty early, pretty early in our move. So I think, Excuse me.
Was that when Christian was directing the play I did with Will?
We co-directed you.
Yes, it was co-directing. That's right.
Yeah, for
directing.
Yeah, A Message. Yeah,
A Message.
Yeah, I think that was one of the first projects that we did down here. I mean, other than shots.
I think
so yeah, that must have been like 2012, maybe 2013. Yeah.
Wow.
Totally. Yeah, pretty awesome.
Time flies.
It certainly does.
Yeah. And now you're going to be moving to Los Angeles, huh?
Mm-hmm.
What's happening down there? You got a TV show you're going to star in?
No, nothing's happening down there. We're just moving to LA. I don't know. We'll see what happens. I just got a little existential crisis during the pandemic. I know I'm not alone in that.
Right.
And I figured out that I would regret it if I never gave LA a try. So.
Oh, okay. Good for you.
So, no time like the present to just give it a shot, see if we like it. And if we don't like it, we can leave.
Are you going to try to do TV and film and all that kind of stuff? Or are you
sure.
That's what's happening.
Yeah, I'm going to try to do anything I can down there. I'm going to try to make a living wage off of things related to acting. That is That is the immediate low bar goal, right?
Yeah.
At the very least. And we can produce our own stuff. We can produce shots and be in shots a little bit easier down there, or produce anything we want theater wise, So we're going to do more of that, more self-producing stuff.
Why is it easier?
Because we're equity, and equity isn't quite as flexible in the Bay Area as it is in Los Angeles.
Oh, yes. They have those old rules they're stuck with down there. Where
equity
and actors can do almost anything they want.
They have like a 50-seat house plan that you can do. It's similar to the showcase code in New York. And I think in LA and in New York, you sort of need to showcase your talents. And the union understands that in order to get agents and casting directors to see your work. Whereas the Bay Area doesn't have that type of market. So it's, you don't have theatrical agents in the Bay Area, and so in New York, it was in order to get a theater agent, you had to, produce your own stuff or be in a showcase. That was the showcase code. So in LA, they've got other codes that are similar to just get you seen.
Right.
And I think the Bay Area is just a little smaller market, so I don't think they're dealing with the same. But I feel like that's kind of unfair because in every theater market, you need to be seen and you need to showcase your talents. So
I wish we had theatrical agents here so we
yeah,
could
that'd
go
be
work in
fun.
other parts of the country.
Yeah, that'd be super fun.
Yeah, but we don't have them, so
No, it's
you
just
don't
a
get to go
different,
anywhere unless you know somebody.
it's a different market. The great thing about the Bay Area theater scene um, is that it's a smaller community. So you can get, really big parts if you stick around for long enough, and you can start, the pool is small. So it's like all of a sudden, everyone, in the Bay
Yes.
Area theater scene, which is great. But the downside is that there just aren't that many parts and you can't live off of it at all. So
No. Yeah, and
Yeah.
in LA, you can make a living with acting related stuff.
yeah.
Here,
Yeah.
there's probably just a handful of people that do.
Yeah, I hope so. I'm going to turn off. There's music happening in the other room. Can you hear it?
I heard
I don't-
something, but it just sounded like static, or it
Okay.
didn't sound like music.
You know what I'm going to do
Unless
is
that's a
I'm
new
going to
type of music.
pausing the music. Stop. I'm like, why don't you just stop?
Well, it wasn't very noticeable, and maybe it's a good
Okay,
song.
Look at it's great.
Turn it up.
It was Neil Young.
Wow, turn it all the way up.
Great.
He lives in Redwood City,
Does
in
he?
the mountains, in the middle, and like the edge of Redwood City, where it's in the mountains where like bears and stuff are.
Wow, that sounds amazing.
Yeah, at the end of Black Mountain Road, I believe,
That
where they
sounds
had all the
beautiful.
fires.
Oh God.
Although I think he was spared.
Oh well, good. I think we would have heard about it if he
Yeah. Mhm.
wasn't spared.
Yeah. So, Melissa, you're in a play right now, right?
I am. I'm not. I am and I'm not. I'm
Oh.
in a play that's airing right now, but it's a movie of a play, really. I turned off the music, by the way, just
Oh.
FYI. Sorry.
A movie of a play.
It's a movie of a play. I'm like the
Movie
worst
of a play.
podcast guest right now. So yeah, I'm
Yeah,
in
you're
the
the
movie.
best.
I'm in a movie of a play, a film of a play on SF Playhouse's stage, which was really fun and really bizarre and amazing and wonderful and incredibly, incredibly difficult. So the play is called Shoot Me When, written by Ruben Grijalva, which is in your last podcast. And that is airing. You can stream it on demand if you buy a ticket. And that's airing through Saturday, the 22nd. So last chance to see it.
Okay. I'm gonna watch
and-
it this week.
Yeah. Oh, it's like a black comedy until it's not. And then it's not funny anymore.
Oh,
but it does-
that's like Albie. Albie does
Yeah.
that to you. He gets you laughing in the third act. He has you crying. And
Yeah.
you cry harder
Yeah.
than you would have because of the fact that you were laughing so hard.
Yeah, I hope so. Yeah, that's the goal. I love the play. It's wonderful. Ruben wrote a magical, awesome play, and its themes are like dementia and family and consent, like what it means to, have consent, when you have dementia and all that kind of stuff. So it's this kind of roller coaster of a living room drama. I think this is one of Ruben's first living room dramas. It takes place
Oh.
mostly in a cabin in Tahoe. So it was really fun to work on that. And we rehearsed it all on Zoom. And then we came in for like tech week, basically, and put it on its feet, blocked it within like a few days.
Mhm.
And it was really weird because we were wearing masks the whole time while we were blocking and acting. And then the masks only came off when we were filming. So we'd have to we'd film, we'd come in backstage. We had our own dressing rooms. Like it was all COVID compliant. It was, and all of us were vaccinated, at least partially by that time. So we all felt incredibly safe as far as COVID was concerned, but not safe as far as like our cognitive behaviors were concerned, right? We were just so used to not touching each other and staying 6 feet apart. And so the fact that we could now be in up close and like acting like a family and touching each other and sharing drinks and all of that was just very bizarre. I remember one day we have wine glasses where there's drinking that happens in the play.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert. We drink wine in the play. And so
Oh my
there,
gosh.
I know, crazy.
What are you? Oh, geez.
And so
Do you
There was a-
smoke?
No, no.
Oh, okay. Well, that's all right.
Maybe a little. We no cigarettes. Let's just say that. No, I don't
Okay.
smoke cigarettes.
Ah,
So there's a point in time where we had these little wine charms so that we could tell whose wine glass was whose, so that we'd be COVID compliant and not sharing glasses.
right.
But there was a point in time where somebody hands me a glass and I just drink from it. And then I realized that it wasn't my wine charm glass. And then I'm like, oh, well, should I look? So I'm like acting while I'm thinking, oh, should I be holding on to a different glass or now? But then who's going to drink out of this glass next? And actually, it's totally fine because we're all vaccinated. And wait, I should be acting. So it was all those things were happening in my head. And then it was a whole, we were all in the same room. So we lost all of our lines because we'd only been, acting in boxes. And then the masks came off and then we lost all our lines again because I was like looking at people's faces in person that I hadn't seen in person ever. It was insane. It was like this whole.
Isn't that weird how it's like when none of us get to rehearse much anymore. So, it's not like it's second nature, the lines. And once something changes, like all of a sudden people put on costumes or take off their masks now or whatever, everything just leaves your brain.
Any little thing would throw us collectively, like me. And it's weird because I'm not used to being like that. Like I'm used to when you rehearse a play and you build it in a certain way, you expect certain moments to make you lose your lines, like when you get costume or when you get into tech or whatever it is. But in this particular situation, for me, the lines were very fragile. Like it was like I was holding onto them with a little thread, and any little variation, like all of a sudden I had 4 mugs in my hand and I had to open a door and then I had to look at people, and pass out coffee mugs while I was talking. And that would just completely I'm in prop hell right now. I can't say anything because I'm using props now and my body is screaming and my brain can't function. So a lot of tiny little things would throw me, minor blocking changes because the blocking was so fresh. And if we change the blocking just a little bit, then I'd go up on my lines or, it was hard. It was really hard, but it was a great challenge. And like that moment when we stepped on stage, I've never been on stage at SF Playhouse. It was one of my big dreams to work there because that house is so gorgeous. It's like,
I know. It's
so beautiful. And there's like a turntable. It's like really, really fancy. And so
the backstage is like an old theater.
Yeah.
It's like 6 stories of dressing rooms.
Yeah. I was on like the second story in my own dressing room, which was very sad, but also like fancy.
Yeah.
And so I was just like, I walk out on that stage and the lights are on and like Blythe and I, the woman who plays my sister, we just were giddy as school children. We were like, oh my God, we're on a stage. And we just couldn't contain ourselves. It was like we were at Disneyland. It just felt so good to be back, even if it was just a partial back. It wasn't like we still had pods and sections and quarantine areas, and I could only eat in my dressing room, and we had to have masks on in the green. It was like crazy. So I'd be on stage, and then when we were filming, and then I'd go off stage, and in the wing, I'd have to put on a mask. And then if I had to enter on the other side of the stage, then I'd have to throw away the mask right before. So the only zone that was mask free was the stage itself. Mm-hmm. So it was hard to be like, all right, put on the mask, take off the mask. We went through a lot of masks. I can't
wait till this is over with.
Yeah. We're so close, right?
Getting back to the normal. I know that if you're a stage actor, the last year and a half has been the twilight zone for your life, right?
Yeah. It's been very depressing.
So strange. I mean, for me, it's just, I've just missed even going to shows, let alone doing this.
Yeah. Yeah. That community, it's really hard. Especially with this play, it's like we don't know what's working or what's not working because we don't have an audience. Like everything is just silent out there. So, we'll hear some feedback afterwards, or we'll get some notes after a take, and then will like incorporate those notes, but it'll never be like, you can feel when the audience is with you and when it's not with you, and their response and their participation in a show is so important to the theater experience. So missing out on that is pretty anticlimactic,
Yeah, So you're in the theater there, and you're not getting anything back.
Yeah,
like when you're doing your full performance on tape, I guess, right? It's almost like doing a film or something, but it's not a film, so you're still having to do theatrical sort of
it was
stage
weird
acting with nobody watching. It's strange, right?
And I was like, I was like, wait, do I need to pay attention to like continuity, like when I put my wine glass down? Like, do we need to be conscious of that? And Susie, our director, was just like, oh no, just we'll be taking whole takes,
Did
so
you
don't worry about it.
Takes if something got screwed
Well, the
up?
first time we tried filming it, we tried filming runs of it, and that was really difficult. We just weren't like, we didn't have, and I felt like a terrible actor. I was like, I can't get through this play. It's a beast of a show. I mean, it's like a full 2 hours long, maybe 2 hours, 10 minutes, and it's a roller coaster, and there are so many moments that are integral to the plot that if you say something wrong or if you miss something, it might shift the whole trajectory. It was very, very difficult. And Lori Holt had like such a hard, not a hard time with it, but she had a hard task, because she's playing a woman with dementia. So she has loops of dialogue that she would go in. And so she would like, there wasn't a lot of logic to her lines. And I would just watch her and be like, girl, I don't know how you're doing that, but just keep going. It was so hard because she would like recycle some bits and pieces and start saying the same thing over and over again, but slightly different in a different place. And she had a lot of dialogue that was where she was listening to us, but she wasn't fully listening to us. So her knowledge of like when she comprehended what was going on versus when she didn't, she had to parse that out. Like it was really incredibly difficult. And so I commend her. I'm in awe of her ability, and she's a phenomenal actress.
She's wonderful.
I've never worked with her before. She was a dream. She was amazing. So I was like, I bow down to you, Lori Holt. Thank you.
I've never worked with her. I've just seen her many times, as I have Dan.
Dan Hyatt was amazing too. Yeah. Such a professional. It was really great. Blythe.
He's wonderful.
Yeah.
When I went to school in London like 10 years ago, one of our teachers was really good friends with him. I've never spoken to him about this, but he was in London for a while, and he had a theater company there with her.
Wow.
Yeah. He must have been when he was in his early 20s or something.
Yeah. He was amazing, and Blythe was such a doll and a wonderful person to work with. It was a wonderful cast, and I learned so much from all of them. Blythe was she was in the Bay Area like right before I got here, so I think we didn't really overlap, and she was kind of like all over the place. I think she worked for like with Cal Shakes. Like there are pictures of her on her website with like Jim Carpenter, and like, maybe she was even a Berkeley rep or ACT. I think she worked at ACT. Like, so she was doing the rounds, and then she went away to do more schooling, I think.
Oh, yes. Okay. I know who she is. I'm looking at her picture.
Yeah.
I have seen her. I think I saw her in ACT in Blackbird.
Maybe.
No, was that her? No, that was somebody else.
No idea.
Yeah, I'll have to check. Anyway. Yeah.
So she's like, she's been around, and then she was away, and now she's kind of back, but maybe she's not. She might be doing some other things right now. But yeah, it was awesome to work with her, and she was so sweet. It's funny how quickly we're like, we're family.
Now, did they use multiple cameras?
They did. They had a 3-camera setup. Camera 2 is right in the middle, and they were built on platforms on top of the seats. So camera 1 was stage right, like right off the lip of the stage. So I could like walk onto it from the stage if I wanted to. Camera 2 was dead center in the house, and camera 3 was the same orientation on the left of camera 1. So it was like I could walk onto it. So they were all eye level, and man, I had a hard time with that because I'm used to being able to look wherever I want when I look out into a theater. And I can't do that when there are cameras on. So like I'd catch myself like just
Looking
being
right at the
drawn
lens.
to the right, to the red light of the camera. And I'd be like, fuck, damn it, I can't look at the camera. I can't, don't look. But it's okay. I'm
Yeah.
an amateur.
Yeah. Yeah. There's people at home and saying, wow, she's talking right to me.
I know, it's like I'm invading
so
your personal,
special.
invading your personal space. I eventually found the exit signs as my thing to glom onto when I needed to think out. Susie was also like, I'm terrible at turning out. I don't turn out a lot when I'm on stage. I kind of like ground myself in who I'm talking to and like what's going on. So
Yeah.
I don't really care about the audience in that respect. I'm like, oh, they'll see enough of me. But Susie was like, Melissa, you're doing such great work and none of us can see it. And I was like, damn it. Okay, fine.
We'll
Fine,
just do
Susie.
a few musicals. And
I
then
know,
you won't
right?
stop turning
And
out.
then I'll never stop turning out. So I did. She's like, I know it's going to throw you, but just turn out, think out whenever you can. And I was like, okay, fine. It totally threw me, but I did it anyway. And then that's when I started to accidentally look at the cameras because I hadn't like scoped the audience. You know what I mean? I hadn't like figured out, well, if I'm going to look out, where can I look? How can my eyes travel? You know?
Yeah, you
And
have to
that
find
fourth
what
one.
you're going to look out there so you don't look.
Yes.
at the
So
camera,
you
like-
don't, yeah, like things to look. It's like, if you think don't look at the camera, all you're going to look at is the camera.
Yeah, yeah. You have to like go out on the stage before and decide, okay, when I look that way, my eye's going to catch that. It's going to catch that, you know?
Exactly. Yeah. So there are a few takes or a few moments when I catch myself. I'm like, oh, there it was. It's like a little split second. And every time, that's another thing. Every time I would do it in my head, I'd be like, no, don't do that. The other thing was don't touch the mic. I had a mic right here. And at first it was like over here, but then they changed it to over here.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm saying here. It was on the top of my forehead.
Yeah, top of your head. Yeah. For
Top of
those
my head.
listening at
Yeah.
home on your
And-
podcast player.
And at first it was like over my ear, like on my cheekbone or like towards my jawline. But then they changed it to the top of my head.
You
And
start
I didn't
scratching it. What's wrong with my head?
I didn't realize how much like I touch my forehead when I'm stressed out, you know?
Mhm, mhm.
But there was one time I was like, I'm pretty sure I ruined a take and I could see the sound guy in the back, like jump and like take his headphones off. Cause I just like shocked his ears. But yeah, I realized I was like, oh, I can't touch my forehead. Man,
Yeah,
this isn't
yeah.
as free as theater normally is for me because I have so many constraints. And then it'd throw me and then I'd have to find my lines and come back to the present. It was
What an
was crazy.
experience.
It was so insane. It was so much fun though. And I was so lucky and happy to be a part of it every single day I was going to the theater. It was incredible. I had costumes, we had lights, we had makeup and sound, and it was fun.
How did you get into this show?
So
Did you audition?
I
Did they call you?
so Ruben Grijalva
Mm-hmm.
Did a workshop or like a reading of a play. So SF Playhouse commissioned this play from Ruben. I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure.
Mm-hmm.
Susie had worked with Ruben a couple of times, like once with the 24-hour play festival, I think. And then another, maybe that's right, could be wrong. And then another time was when Ruben wrote Anna Considers Mars. And Susie directed that, and I was Anna in that. So when he was doing a reading of the play, Shoot Me When, and it was a first, like, you know, not a first draft, but kind of like a first read to see how it was. I happened to be involved with that, and I read for the part of Ariel. And he got a lot of great feedback, and then he went back, he did some rewrites, and then they were ready to start casting it. And then I just got the part.
Awesome.
I know, right?
Often that usually doesn't happen. People who are in the reading
It-
usually don't get into the show later.
It
right?
normally doesn't, and I don't know if I'm like, am I even supposed to say that?
That's okay.
Because I know that they were auditioning for Ariel as well. But
Oh, right.
it was
I see
already-
what you mean.
so
Yeah.
technically, like, but maybe I could have gotten replaced. I don't know. But Susie, apparently, rumor has it that she really, well, it's not a rumor, she told me. So I can say that, I guess.
You're deserving of it. I know it's so hard to do this.
I know.
I have this happen all the time. It's like, why
Mhm.
am I doing this? Everybody knows me. I say things like, I don't want to make anybody mad or like,
Yeah,
oh
right.
God, I don't know.
But Susie was like, she was like, you just did such a good read for Ariel.
Yeah.
We just knew you were it. So, we're,
Great.
so, and that was so, so flattering, I couldn't believe I couldn't believe I was being offered a part, and that I was lucky enough to be in another one of Ruben's plays. Because I really love his writing, and I've been very fortunate to be in 3 of his plays already. So
Oh, okay.
normally Christian and I are in them together, my husband. Who's
Oh,
also
yeah.
an actor.
Yes, Christian.
Yeah, because
You're
we were both
wonderful actors.
Thank you. We
And
were both in Value Over Replacement with the Playground Festival. That was
Mhm.
starring Jomar Tagatak as the main character.
Oh, okay.
And then that was a baseball play. It was really awesome, really great play. And then Anna, Christian was also in Anna Considers Mars with me. And then in this
that
play,
was great. I love that play.
Thank
That
you.
was the one I saw at Stanford, right?
Yeah.
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 That was awesome.
Yeah. That was a fun.
So strange and fantastic.
Awesome, right? So fun. I loved that play. So yeah, Christian was in that with me too, which was super fun. And in this Shoot Me When, there just wasn't a part available for him. So he couldn't even audition.
Yeah, right.
Otherwise, I'm sure we would have weaseled him in there somehow,
Yeah. You could have just had him walk across the stage or something.
Yeah, Christian and I just come as a package deal. It's like you just have to cast both of us.
Now you're leaving us. I don't want you to
I know.
leave.
I know. I don't want to leave either. I mean, God, I love the Bay so much. This is the first place that I've lived that I felt like it's home,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I feel so grateful and happy that I'm here every time I walk out the door. Yep. I mean, except maybe like the day that it was orange outside and it looked like,
Oh, from the smoke?
Yeah. From the smoke. That orange day. Remember the orange day? Man, that was
Yeah. Weird.
What did it look like?
Day.
It looked like something out of the what was that movie that it looked like?
Armageddon?
No, it was like the post-apocalyptic. They did a remake of it too with Ryan Gosling.
I don't know.
I can't remember. Damn it. Christian knows. Blade Runner.
Oh, Blade Runner, right. Oh, yeah.
It looked something. Yeah, it was like straight out of Blade Runner.
Yeah.
That day I was like, it's the end of the world. But other than that, for the most part, I'm always really happy that I live here. So leaving here is really strange. Every other place I've left, I've been ready to leave in a way that I'm like, I kind of don't want to visit again. Just kind of like, I'm done with you. Yeah. But the Bay, I'm not done with. I think I'm always going to love the Bay. It's just unfortunate that I don't have the potential for a career here that I wish I did,
I think it's great. I mean, you're still young. It's good to do it because there's just only so far you can go here as an actor or anything in entertainment.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of there's a big dead end at a certain level, and that's it.
Yeah.
I mean, kind of everybody thinks of the Bay Area as sort of like a very pedestrian in a way, even though it's not.
Yeah.
And all these TV shows, they don't shoot here when they can. Films don't shoot here because it's a pain, apparently. Mm-hmm. And then, the touring companies kind of take over the super like Broadway-ish professional stuff, and we get left out of all that.
Yeah.
And even though it's a huge theater, area, the San Francisco Bay Area, it's 300 and something theater companies.
Yeah. It's also hard to be an equity actor in the Bay, I think.
Oh my gosh, I know.
I think that there's just not enough equity.
There's not. I mean, you always have to to be an equity actor in the Bay Area and get work once in a while. You have to know the right people.
You do, but I feel like that's true for everywhere you go.
That's true. Yeah. But like, you got to figure it out,
Yeah.
And
it's a hustle.
Or you can be really clever and make work for yourself somehow, like go audition in strange places and convince them to hire you and all that.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. It's just the weirdest thing.
Yeah.
So now you said that you watched one of the National Theater live productions?
I did.
Which
Deep Blue
was
Sea.
Deep
I
Blue
watched Deep
Sea?
Blue Sea with that woman who plays Polly in Peaky Blinders. God, what's her name? And
Oh, yes, I forgot her name.
I forgot her name, but she just recently died of cancer, I think.
Oh, she did?
Yeah, she was an amazing, amazing actress.
Oh.
And I thought she was good in Peaky Blinders, and then I saw her in Deep Blue Sea, and we weren't even we weren't planning on watching a play that day. We just happened to be like YouTube was up and around, like I was like looking at something on YouTube, and then I like accidentally pressed play on this thing for National Theater Live, and it was a full-on play of Deep Blue Sea, and we got hooked. Like we could not stop watching, and it was absolutely incredible. And now I'm like, man, that's a part I would love to play one day. But it was beautifully directed and beautifully produced. It was and amazingly well done. It was so I was crying.
It's a wonderful play.
It's an incredible play, and that woman in the main part of it.
Helen McCrory, I think.
Yes, there she is.
And she died. I love her.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen her in a bunch of things. Oh, that's sad.
Yeah, she was like one of the best actors I've ever seen.
She's fantastic.
Yeah, and I didn't even see her in person. But when you see the National Theater Live stuff, you feel like you're watching a play.
Oh,
you feel like you're in the audience. It's so fun.
Oh, they do such a great job.
Yeah, I don't know how they do it either. I'm like, how do they make it look like that? I don't know.
I don't know, but you definitely do not feel like you're watching a movie. You feel like you're in a theater and you're watching a live performance, and it's just mind-boggling. And before COVID, you could only watch it in theaters. Mm-hmm. And I went to a whole bunch of them. And they would only be specific days. Like they're going to play, what was it? I mean, there's so many. Which one did I see? I think it was Caesar.
Yeah.
No, that's I can't remember right now, but there were so many of them I saw, and like in Palo Alto at this theater on this day, and it's not coming back for another 6 months.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, and multiple cameras and close-ups and wide shots, but it didn't feel like a movie.
No, it didn't. It felt like that they really captured the essence of like how the eye wanders when you're watching a play, because we get to, as an audience, we get to choose who we're watching and who gets our attention, while action is going on stage. And for some reason, I feel like that the way they shot it, it was like, it always went exactly to where my eye wanted to go, and to watch those like little secondary activities or the little thing, like the reactions or just, and they knew when to go to a wide shot so you could choose where you were looking and actually experience it like a play, but they would zoom in on more intimate moments. So that way you could kind of, get a little bit more intimate. It's incredible. I have no idea how they do it, but it really does feel like it.
And it seems like they do it like in one night. It seems like there's just a performance. And they shoot the performance, and then I'm sure they must combine 2 or 3 performances, though, and put the best of everything.
I have no idea.
Maybe not.
Maybe they just have like a bunch of cameras constantly rolling and constantly following, and then they edit it all together.
I think that's what they do. That must be what they do, because there's no way they could choose everything beforehand. Like there are moments when you want to, like if somebody's like giving somebody the riot act, right? Like you want to see how that person's reacting. Well, somehow they know right away to do a closer shot of the person who's getting, read the riot act and how they're reacting, but not for just the right amount of time.
Just the right amount of time. Yeah.
So they must have just a bunch of cameras rolling, and then they have, they spend hundreds and thousands of hours editing, and
the editing is incredible.
Yeah. Well, I know that's a big thing to try to compare yourself to, and I'm not trying to tell you to do that with SF Playhouse, but I just was wondering if you saw this, because I love them.
Yeah, Yeah, no, I mean, SF Playhouse was edited within a week, so it's
Oh,
a little
wow.
rawer than that. Yeah,
Wow.
it's pretty raw, but they had decided like what where they were sort of doing live cuts. They did record all of it on all 3 cameras, but there were a few they were kind of figuring out their live cuts while they were doing it.
I see.
And we were blocked according to that.
Mhm.
And so we kind of knew when certain cameras, when we were in frame at certain cameras, so they kind of let us know that. It was wild.
And how was it for your director?
Susie?
Yeah, directing this thing, having to deal with the cameras and everything. And I think Susie's a wonderful director. Everything, I love everything she's done. It's just the attention to detail and the little stuff that sometimes actors forget about. I can see she gets people to do them, and
my favorite thing about Susie is that she really knows how to talk to actors. So there's never a direction that I get from her that I'm like, I don't know what you want me to do. Like I always know, what she wants me to do, or why she wants me to do something, or she doesn't give me any vague direction. So there's never a gray area where I'm like, wait, what? And because she's an actor herself, and so she knows what the craft is, and so it's really easy, to feel like I'm fulfilling the director's wishes, because the director knows how to ask for what they want.
Right.
She knows how to ask for what she needs and what she wants, and that makes everything just so much easier. It takes all that like guesswork out of it and reverse math. It's like, okay, well, if this director is asking me for this result, then I have to do X, Y, and Z in order to, motivate that and maybe achieve the result that they're looking for, so none of that happened with Susie, which was great. And then I think she did have her work cut out for her, because it was her first time directing one of these. So I think it was a challenge, but she had a lot of people helping and around her and supporting her, which was great. And I mean, she protected us from that side of it, from that technical side of it, because she didn't want to have us be thinking about camera angles or that kind of stuff too
that's
much.
good.
Yeah, so she sort of sheltered us from that and just let us do our thing as much as possible, unless it was like, okay, now we have an issue where you're blocking the camera, so you need to hit this mark here, and then we're seeing this actor through this window from this camera. So
I see.
That's the logic you need to be aware of,
Yeah.
So yeah.
So when you were taping this, did you have any people in the audience watching?
No, just the staff,
Okay.
the staff and the people who were working on it, like sound and that kind of stuff.
Okay. Yeah. So nobody there just to be entertained.
Yeah. Yeah, totally. No, I mean, Bill English was in the audience, and he gave us some support. Every once in a while I'd hear a little chuckle or something, and I'd be like, oh, somebody cares. Yeah. Somebody's hearing us.
This is like the second innovative thing you've done during our time of COVID, right? I mean, you were in the play at Cal Shakes.
With SF Shakes. SF Shakes. Yeah.
SF Shakes.
King Lear. Yeah, that was insane. And it feels like a decade ago. It feels like so long ago.
I know.
The beginning of the apocalypse. And yeah, that was very different. And hopefully we never have to do that type of work again.
That was amazing.
Yeah, it was fun.
So you did King Lear at SF Shakes, San Francisco Shakespeare Festival, and they sent you each green screens and cameras, right?
They sent us a whole kit, like 2 soft boxes, 2 umbrella, so that's 4 lights, a full green screen with a stand, a mic, a webcam, so that we all had the same equipment, and the same quality of equipment, and then the rest of it was just like kind of figuring out this unified virtual space is what they call it, kind of all on our own.
Unified
like through trial and error
space.
Yeah, because
so
he
just layered you, like
he layered us all on top of each other.
OBS, this program, I guess OBS, I'm guessing.
Yeah,
OBS.
And then
filtered it into YouTube.
Yeah.
So it looked like you were in the same room and even having knife fights and sword fights and
Yeah.
stuff, even though you were in your own apartments.
Yeah, we
And there
looked
was
really
like depth of
ridiculous. Yeah.
field, like someone would be standing behind someone.
Yeah,
And
he
he
would
was-
like
he was just
change the
layered.
Yeah, he would change the layering.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was
And it was
incredible.
seamless, and he was doing it on the fly. And
Yeah.
I never saw a mistake.
Yeah.
The only problem is like some people didn't have the bandwidth as others, and their like noses would get chopped off. And stuff.
Oh no, that would always happen no matter
Uh,
what. I think it wasn't bandwidth. It was just like the
Technical
strength
stuff.
of the strength of the technology. Like we
Yeah.
just couldn't help it.
I noticed they've been doing.
We all look like Voldemort in profile.
Yeah, right. So,
Mhm.
yeah, I noticed they've been doing TV commercials like that. After
Yeah.
I saw your production, then I started watching commercials closely, and I said, "Well, that person is not at a grocery store. That's a green screen." And then there's somebody
Yeah.
else next to them. They're not in the same room.
Yeah, it's
But their
crazy.
technology was like so strong, like nothing got chopped up or whatever. It just
Yeah.
didn't look quite
Well,
right.
because
Like,
they're not doing it live, right? It's like you can
Right.
record it and then you can do it afterwards, but streaming it live is a
oh,
different
the
thing.
lines,
So
going through the lines. Oh yeah, there's
Yeah,
no
yeah,
way
yeah.
you're going to be able to.
yeah.
Yeah, especially with all that data. I mean, because you got like 3, 4, 5 streams coming into one
Yeah.
output.
Neil had to get a much more faster computer, like an
Oh, yeah.
I think they
I saw that.
rented like a big Mac for
He
him.
had
so
he
that-
had like one of the most powerful Macs I saw.
Yeah.
Because I was afterwards. Yeah, those are expensive.
Yeah, I think they had to rent them. Like he rented
Oh,
it
okay.
for specifically for King Lear.
Okay.
yeah.
That
Because
was
nobody
cool.
can afford that.
So you're lucky you. Oh, no, yeah, I know. Especially theater people.
I know, right? Yeah, no. So I was very fortunate to this pandemic to be able to do like two
Yeah.
pandemic productions, both on like the cutting edge of like, what people were doing to keep theater alive during the pandemic.
Yeah, when
know,
you get
and
your
then-
own, when you're famous and you get your own Wikipedia page, it'll be in there like for posterity. Like you were on the cutting edge of theater.
Of
during
pandemic
the
theater.
pandemic theater. You were one of the originals.
Yeah,
One of the
I
explorers.
did my time doing pandemic theater in virtual spaces, and now I know a lot more about Zoom than I ever wanted to know, and green screens and all kinds of stuff. So yeah, it's been crazy.
No, I got a new green screen here. It's fun. It just folds up and down.
It does?
Yeah. Well,
Oh, we're gonna need one of those.
no, I'm not gonna do it because then it'll.
Oh, is it like a pop-up? Is it
Yeah,
like
yeah. It's just like comes up from the floor,
oh dude, I want one
and
of
then
those.
it's
You're
just
gonna
like the
have to show
long
it to me.
thing on the ground. It's like so. It takes up no space when you put it down.
Dude, you're gonna have to send me the link to that thing because I want it.
They're not
Yeah.
cheap.
Yeah,
They're like
that's okay.
$160.
That's okay. It's probably worth it.
Yeah, but don't buy there's only one brand. It's the original, and there's all these Chinese
Knockoffs?
companies
Yeah.
copying it and charging the same or more. And I accidentally bought one, and it was garbage. It was like, and I was like, something is wrong. These are supposed to be great. And I realized this is the actual.
So did you
brand.
like return it and get
Right
the,
away,
okay,
Thank
good.
God for
Well,
Amazon.
you're gonna
Thank
have to
God.
tell me about it. I'm totally interested.
Yeah, I'll send it to you.
Yeah, awesome.
And you know what? So the other thing that I love that you and Christian do, and that I've been a part of, luckily for a long time, is shots. It's absolutely one of my favorite things in the world. I feel
Thank
like
you.
your own little like better than Saturday Night Live fun.
Yeah, it's
And-
so fun.
Why don't you
It's
tell
like-
people what shots is?
Yeah, so it's an evening of 6 5-minute plays.
Mhm.
And we normally do them for one night only. The writers we assemble teams of theater artists and we give them a month to sort of put a short play together. So the writers have like 2 weeks to write, and the actors and directors have 2 weeks to
Yeah.
rehearse and put it up. And then it goes up one night only. And it's a big theater party. It's a good time. And then, yeah, for the pandemic, we decided to do it virtual. We were like straight out of the gate. Like the minute we were in quarantine, we were like, fuck it, let's do a
That's
shot.
the other incredible thing you've done.
Yeah, right. Like shots,
You've done
virtual
2 or
shots.
3 of those, right?
Yeah, like 3 or 4 actually. We've done
Oh,
a lot
really?
of, and then we've done a lot of readings on Zoom for Playground, and the Moonrisers has been a really fun experience as well. They've been doing a lot of virtual stuff, so it's been great. It's been yeah, so we've been producing shots in the Bay Area since 2012, and Jamie Catalano took over production for a little while, and then we took production back and that kind of stuff. So we're hoping that we're planning that Shots continues its run out here.
Okay.
Jamie's probably going to take the lead on that, and she's kind of working out how she wants to do it, and maybe get other producers on board to sort of help line produce the series, so that way it's not all. Including you, Ray. You gotta get in on that.
We've talked a few times about me like doing something down here.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd love to.
Wait, one second.
It's totally different. Mm-hmm.
So Ray, I'm gonna switch computers real quick because Christian needs his computer. So I'm just gonna join the meeting from this. All right. I'm gonna join the meeting from this computer and swap.
See what happens.
I know it's gonna be crazy.
Well, you're a Zoom expert, so it'll work out.
I am. So it's gonna be smooth and seamless as long as I can open Chrome.
It's so weird that birds never fly by my window.
What? Oh yeah, I know. It's like
where are the birds in San Francisco? It's just the Transamerica building just sitting there.
It's like, and there's the clouds aren't even moving past
there's
it.
No clouds.
It's weird. It's very strange.
There's no UFOs, no airplanes.
Yeah, I don't get it. Okay, one sec. Here we go.
What's that background you got going there? You're sporting.
This is an air mattress.
Okay.
It's a camping mattress that we have up here because
cool.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. Okay, so here we go. I'm here.
Hey, wow, magic.
I know. Seamless.
You are a Zoom expert.
Yeah, I am. So now we're on my computer and Christian's got his computer. He's got to start rehearsal. He's in Sapience, which is, I'm going to plug that real quick, is a play that Playground is producing for their Zoom Fest by Diana Burbano, I think is
Diana Burbano.
She's Playground here and Playground LA. I think she might be based out of LA. She's awesome. The play is awesome. I love it. And sometimes I'll walk in on Christian rehearsing and I'll just like stand and watch because I think it's so good and I think he's so good and it's great. So yeah. I think it's going to be really fun. It's a fun show. So I'm excited to see it. And that happens soon, like in a few days.
Playground on Zoom. So you just need to go to Playground's website.
Yeah.
And I'm sure it'll be there.
Yeah. Right? Check out Sapience. Yeah. Sapience is part of their Zoom Fest.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, we sold our couch because we're moving, obviously. So we sold our couch and when we want to watch television in the living room, we have nowhere to sit. So we brought out the camping mattress so we can like lie down and have a comfortable place to sit on our floor in the living room.
What are you watching these days?
Oh my gosh, what aren't we watching? We've been watching Mayor of Easttown.
I don't know that one.
Oh, it's on HBO.
Okay.
Really good. It's got Kate Winslet in it, and she's playing this person from Boston. And her Boston accent is on point. It's incredible. Actually, how would I know? I've actually never.
What's it called? The Mayor of Easttown?
Mayor, M-A, Mayor.
Oh, Mayor. Okay. Like a horse mare? Okay.
Like, yeah. Like, I think it's short for Mary, Mayor.
Oh, gotcha.
Mayor is her name.
Okay.
Of Easttown.
Yeah. I'm going to have to check that out.
Pennsylvania. Sorry, it's Pennsylvania. I lied. It's not Boston. It's
Pennsylvania accent. Oh, maybe that's why on Saturday Night Live they were doing some funny Pennsylvania accent stuff the other night.
Yeah. Maybe that is. I haven't watched Saturday Night Live recently, but
yeah.
But yeah, so Mayor of Easttown, very, very good show.
Okay, I have to watch that.
We've been watching that. We watched during the pandemic. We watched all of Breaking Bad for the first time. Yeah, that was.
Oh my God, isn't that awesome? Like one of the best shows ever, for sure.
Very stressful.
I know. Well, you know what? My wife and I've already saw all of Ozark. I'm watching it over again, and that is stressful too.
Yeah, Christian watched all of Ozark. I had to back out of Ozark. Also, I had to back out of Succession. He watched.
Why did you back out? It was too much.
It was just too much. I couldn't handle it. There was a point where, especially during the pandemic, I kind of got super depressed and called my doctor because I couldn't stop crying. And I was like, why is this happening? I was like, this is just who I am now.
I get it, man.
And so, luckily I was able to get onto some antidepressants and go through some therapy, which was really great. So So that's been a lovely mindful journey I've been on during the pandemic, and I feel like I'm a far healthier human being than I was at the beginning of the pandemic. So
Oh,
I'm
good.
really grateful and fortunate
You do
to
any
have that
meditation or
resource.
anything?
Dude, I took like a whole MBSR mindfulness based stress reduction class.
Mm-hmm.
I highly recommend. I don't know why it isn't taught in schools. Like I feel like every human being should do this, and it was all just meditation based.
Yeah, I agree.
It was life changing for sure.
Absolutely.
And there's like a whole book about it, and it's like a 8-week course that's taught through most hospitals in the nation, and it's been researched and done since like the 80s or the 90s. Like it's legit. I was like, I always heard that meditation was good for you, but I was like, oh, whatever. And then I actually started practicing it, and I was like, oh, I get it. It's actually really important, and it's really helpful.
I did that program at El Camino Hospital when it first started with what's his name back east.
John Kabat-Zinn.
Yes, he wrote the book, and then he had
the full catastrophe living.
Full catastrophe living, and then he had one of his like protege was out here at El Camino Hospital. What's his name? I can't remember.
I don't know.
Yeah, I did that for like a year, and it was in the like 1997.
Yeah.
Although
you're not doing, are you meditating as much as you want to?
Yeah, well, I'm involved with this other organization called Art of Living. It's from India. Most of the people are Indian, but it's all similar. I'm doing a 5-day silence retreat next week.
Lucky you.
Yeah, so I'm totally into it.
Yeah. Oh, good. Yeah. No,
and we do all this yoga breathing stuff.
It's life changing. I didn't realize like how important it was for my mental health, but I just noticed a lot. I also have a phobia, which is really fun. And I've had that since I was for as long as I can remember. And I went to cognitive behavioral therapy when I first moved out to the Bay Area to see if I could fix it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm afraid of people vomiting, like vomit and or.
Well, who isn't?
I know it's like, but actual fear, like actual, like I think it's a lion that's gonna kill me, like. So, yeah, but I think it's funny because everybody finds it incredibly unpleasant, but I have the added bonus of being terrified of it.
Like having a panic attack, yeah.
Oh yeah, full blown panic attack.
Only for other people or for you too?
Me too.
Yeah.
But
did you ever see the Seinfeld episode about that?
About vomiting?
Yeah, like
because Jerry hadn't vomited in a long time.
9 years.
9 years, yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't vomited.
Maybe that'll help you.
Very long time. I know, but I had to do exposure therapy for it and cognitive behavioral therapy, and so like YouTube is an ugly and terrifying place. And so I watched a bunch of YouTube videos of people puking. Anyway, the reason I got into this. And then Christian had to like help out too, because I had homework where I had to like watch it. Like first it was 3 times a week, and then it was every day in the week to continue to expose. So I was just like inducing mini panic attacks like the whole time. So anyway, since I did that, it's gotten better. The exposure really helped. But the medication is also helping a lot. And the meditation helps so much. Like I used to be that like if someone would vomit on television, I would be scared. I would run out of the room. I would leave the room. It would induce like panic immediately. And since the therapy and with the added bonus of like meditation and stuff, I'm like calm as a cucumber. I'm like, oh, hey, look at that. That's gross. Like normal reactions to vomiting, not like panic attacks. So anyway, so that's actually, so it's had added benefits in multiple ways for me.
I know it's like until you meditate or do something similar or whatever, like your brain works so quickly, you have no idea of the terrible things you say to yourself.
Yeah.
Or the way you judge yourself, like
totally.
And you have to realize that like the human mind is so fucked up. Oh, now I have to put explicit, but like we have this idea that we're like should be in control of it, but like your mind doesn't care if you're happy.
No,
it wants to make you survive. Right?
I remember reading like in John Kabat-Zinn's book, it's like, he says, your thoughts are not you. And I remember reading that and I was like, wait, what? It's like, how are my thoughts not me? And then the whole concept is that you are your awareness. You are the awareness of the thoughts. You are not the thoughts themselves. And the brain is just like a thought machine that just like creates all these thoughts kind of on its own or whatever. And you have the power to choose which thoughts to follow or not. But like, if you can just like separate your identity from the things that your brain is thinking, then that like, that for me was like, oh, so I was raised Catholic, so I would have guilt about thoughts that would enter my brain, right? So
yes, but
it's like, if those thoughts aren't my fault, then there's no guilt. Guilt is irrelevant. Like it inherently gets rid of guilt.
At least it doesn't make you think that you're like an awful creature that you don't deserve to be on this planet.
Just because thoughts happen and they're not, it's like my thoughts aren't my responsibility. My actions are my responsibility, and what I do with the thoughts and how I follow the thoughts and how I treat the thoughts are my responsibility. But the thoughts themselves, like, that's just my brain, and my brain isn't me. So, oh well.
Hey, I don't think that sensitive children should be allowed to be raised Catholic. It's like, let's make what you're going to do to yourself already like 10 times worse.
Yeah, totally.
by making you really good at self-flagellation. Exactly.
I'll just beat myself up.
I mean, I still have, like, I found out this way, like, I wanted to get YouTube Pro or whatever, so I have the commercials and stuff.
Yeah.
And I found out, like, I signed up as though I was in India, and I put like an India zip code, and it was only like whatever the Indian money is, it turned out to be like $1.25 a month. But then I canceled because I was like felt so guilty. It's like, oh man, I'm ripping off. I'm like, wait a minute.
YouTube.
Yeah, like who cares, right?
I know my mom has been, recently, I think this is kind of a tangent, but she's like, oh, Ellen, she's like, and my mom was born in 1944. So she had her fair share of abusive, toxic workplaces.
Yeah.
And she was just used to it, and she's like, so what? She was mean. Like, employers can be mean. And I'm like, yeah, Mom, but they're not always mean, and then she's like, oh, I guess you're right. Like, we're changing and that's good. But it was funny because it's funny because her generation is so accustomed to people in power abusing power, that it's second nature, and there was a pride, I think, in that culture of being able to withstand that type of abuse and be strong enough and courageous enough to either take it or fight back or walk out of the room or create, the drama with it. And so we had a really interesting conversation about it, where she was like, you know what, I still like Ellen because of all the things that she did. I don't think the fact that like this drama is happening should negate all the good that she's done. And I completely agree with her.
Ellen? You mean Ellen DeGeneres?
Ellen DeGeneres, yeah.
I haven't been keeping up. What'd she do?
Dude.
Oh, because she's so nasty with her employees, you mean?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
It's not, I mean, I haven't really been following it too much, but I think, but yeah, it's interesting because my mother loves Ellen, and there's another backstory to that, but that I won't get into. But the things that Ellen's show actually meant a lot to her as far as like her journey through difficult times. Like, she would watch the show and it would bring her comfort,
Yeah.
And so I was like, yeah, no, it shouldn't negate all of the good that she's done. It's just, it's time for her to not run this show anymore. And her contract was up anyway, so it's not like she was fired or anything, but like
she's got plenty of dough.
Yeah. And then I was like, yeah, I don't really feel sorry for her. Like, it's like I think she's gonna be fine.
Yeah.
Like, she'll be cool. Like, she'll just, coast under the radar for a little bit and then come back out,
She could start another show if she wanted to. She could start her own TV network.
Yeah, like Oprah, like the Ellen.
The O channel or the E channel.
The E channel.
I just wish I wasn't old now while this is happening. I just wish it
Don't we
happened.
all wish we weren't old? But then
Yeah.
we'd be dead. That's the
Yeah,
alternative.
yeah. What's the alternative? Ah!
I was like,
Well-
oh, I just turned 40 in April. So I was like, oh.
40. God,
I was like,
that's
oh
awesome.
yeah, but I was like, the alternative is death. So I think I'm doing good.
God, time flies, man.
I know. I'm really
Wow.
glad I'm not moving to LA in my 20s. I think I would
Every-
never survive.
Most people end up coming back.
Yeah. I'd be like, I can't. But now I feel like I'm kind of up for the challenge as I've done. I'm going to meditate a lot in LA.
Yeah. I've
I'm
had
gonna
one friend. Let's see. I've had one friend who moved to LA who's actually stayed and is doing great. And he's been on all
Oh,
kinds of TV
good.
shows for the last like 30 something years. And yeah, and everybody else I know though, I think most of them ended up returning to the Bay Area.
Yeah, and we might end up coming back, in which case I
No,
will be
I'm
very
not saying it's gonna
happy.
be you. I'm just,
But it might be, and
Yeah.
I'm totally open to that. All we're doing is moving to LA. We're not like,
it's not that far.
it's not that far. It's just a
Yeah.
little hop, skip, and a jump. An hour plane ride.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it'll be
I got
fun.
my little Zoom message here that says I think they think that we have 3 people on here.
Oh, do they?
Yeah, because I think when you switched computers,
I came
put-
in with a different account.
yeah, it put us into the the paid thing.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, because it gave me a
That's
message. Because with 2
sad.
people, you're supposed to stay on you can stay on as long as you want, right?
Yeah.
But it thinks we have 3. So it
Rude.
just give me my little 10-minute warning.
Oh, mine gave me a 2-minute warning.
Just now?
Yeah, it's like time left 2 minutes.
Oh
and
yeah, I'm
45
telling you now
seconds.
because it gave me the 10-minute like 8 minutes ago.
Oh yeah. Great.
Well, anyway, Miss, maybe we should call it here. That's a
It's up
long.
to you, man.
We talked for a long time.
This is your rodeo, man.
Yeah, I really
This is your-
appreciate your time, Melissa.
Yeah, I'm glad. I'm happy to. Podcast feels so fancy, I
It
feel
is
like
fancy, man.
very like special. I'm like,
You
oh
are.
look, I'm being interviewed for a podcast.
You are. You should give it to all your friends on in the show.
I will. I
Yeah,
will.
yeah.
I'll,
And all your
tell
other
everyone to
friends
listen.
and yeah.
And
cool.
Yeah, I will. Sounds great.
All right.
Awesome.
Thanks.
Well, yeah, thanks. You have a good day, and
too.
I'll see you around. See you
Okay.
hopefully before I move. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll see you this weekend. I'll be there.
Yes. Yes.
All right.
Awesome. Okay.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
When you're weary.
Yeah.